What's up, YouTube? It's me, the artisanmc, and I'm going to do something I don't usually do, which is I'm going to react or respond to a video that is making the rounds right now. Now, shout out to BGS IBMOR for posting this video up this Saturday and doing the due diligence to actually find out more about the 20-second clip that has gone viral on TikTok. Now, I don't have TikTok. I kind of refuse to use it because I'm a Gen Xer and TikTok is, to me, for low attention spans. But I understand that's where all the young people congregate. So if you want to, blow your numbers up, that's where you go. I don't go there. So it's intentional. But a lot of drama comes out of there, like the old school nostalgic days of Instagram and Facebook, that all the drama usually centers there. And the quick clips and short attention spans, and people can just click and react and go crazy. I don't usually do that, but this video at BS show did catch my eye because it's something that I have a lot of experience with. Now, the video is from, I'll bring it up so you can see it. This is the Change Tomorrow Today podcast. And this is the host on the screen, Ralph, right? Now, he did this stream 4 days ago, and it's about dating as a single parent. Now, I found this interesting because this is something that I had to do when I had my son. I dated as a single person, right? So the struggles and the understanding of what goes on in this situation is not new to me, okay? Because I've been through it. Aside from being a single male parent, I've also dated single mothers throughout my life because I'm a Gen Xer that came in with us. So it's not abnormal for me to date a single mother. I don't do it anymore, but it's not abnormal for me to do that. I just understand nowadays it's a bit different, that the repercussions that have happened from the Gen X era and one right before with child court and custody and all that stuff, all the crap that I went through as a single parent, has bared fruit. And the fruit that is bared is that men nowadays really don't look to date single mothers. They really don't. Young or old, they really don't want to date single mothers. That it is getting to the point where it should be taboo again. Now, this is not, in essence, to disparage single mothers, but the understanding that single motherhood is not the natural state that things should be in, if you put it that way. And most people understand that there are less benefits than there are benefits to dating a single mother, one of which is the children, right? Now, this clip from this show went viral because the man in the situation, AJ, who is giving pushback to the female in the situation, which is named Vic, he told her flat out that of what benefit are your children to me, which is a valid point. And she went off on him about it. But as I understand, the fervor over this 20-second clip of him saying this to her is not at her. It's at him for saying that. Now, BGS did a great video breaking this down and explaining why you should look at the whole situation before you judge 20 seconds of it. And so he played the whole video, which is what I'm going to do and play my reaction to it. Because for me, there's a lot of stuff in this that you can go into that can be reacted to or given some pushback on, but it's a lot going on in this psychologically that I think would be interesting just to read people on. It is. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this video up, and I will stop it at different points just to give my 2 cents on it. Uh, they do not have a good StreamYards. They don't have a good way to show this. I use a different. I'm gonna have to use a different thing because that's too big and that's too small. And they need a different layout. They need a different layout because that's not the best one. So I'll comment here and there, and we'll get into this. So this is the Change Tomorrow Today podcast. I have subscribed to the brother because I'm using his content. So I did give him a like on his content and subscribe to his channel because I want to see his channel grow as black folks having a conversation about some things that should be talked about. Why the hell not? So I'm going to go ahead and play this and let's go.
What it's like dating as a single parent. What do you guys look for when you guys are dating? What are the difficulties of dating as a single parent? Is it easy? Is it hard? Because I don't know.
So go ahead.
You want to talk about something you don't know.
I want to learn. I really want to learn. You know what I'm saying? So what it's like dating as a single parent, male and female.
So go ahead.
I actually just started kind of dating.
Okay.
So I wouldn't.
Oh, you were off the market.
Right, for a long time.
Okay.
So dating as a single parent is a little difficult to say. But beyond that, I think it's difficult for me to say because I don't have the same experiences as most people.
Okay, so here's the first thing. This whole thing is being a single parent and having a village to help you raise the children. That is a woman thing, right? Now, here's my problem with this. This is PMDM. This is my philosophy on this thing. What I have seen from my experience with single mothers when they use this village analogy, it means that they are not spending any time with their kids, really. They're not. They're hiding from their children. Now, what you will have is women who don't really want to be mothers, but they do want to have kids because the kids grant them some benefits. Okay, be it low tier women who want to get housing and some subsidized living and stuff like that, or higher women who can have babies and get child support and alimony and stuff like that out of the men they might have been married to or just been with and had a child by. Children are a benefit to women. That's just an understanding. You can get money from it. But women who operate in that vein don't really like spending time with their children. That's the real secret. You don't have to look any further than the pandemic to see how many single mothers were pissed off when they had to spend a week at home with their children and what they were looking for them to do other than be in their face. Okay? So let's just eliminate that. Modern women, I don't believe, like children at all, even their own. They don't really like them because they do everything they can to stay away from them. And that's where school comes in. That's where after school programs come in. That's where the village comes in to babysit and do everything else so they can get back to what they really want to do, which is run the street and act like they don't have children.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm a single parent, yes, but I have a nice village that's very helpful.
Mhm.
So it doesn't kind of interfere with my dating.
What do you mean by that? You
aspects
mean
of
like
life.
the kids?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, having gave my prequel that I have dated single mothers in the past. At this age that I am now, I don't believe single mothers should be dating. Depending on the age of their children, I don't. I don't believe you should be dating. In this modern era, the way modern dating goes down and how quickly people fall into bed with each other and do all kind of wildness, you don't need to be dating if you're raising children, especially if your children are under 10. No. You need to have your ass at home taking care of your children because that's the most important thing you can do. Your dating life is over. That's done for a while. You can hang it up. It's okay. It'll still be there when you come back to it. So this village analogy of she's just going to be leaving the children with relatives so she can go out and run the streets. No, no. If you want the children in your home and you want to run the streets, then you need to have the children in the father's home so you can run the streets. Plain and
Right.
simple.
When you have a good village, you have good people around you that you
Mm-hmm.
can count on. It makes it a little bit easier when you're dating because you don't have to work around so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking for a sitter and
Right.
stuff like that, trying to be.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
like I would say when my daughter was very young, I don't think people really believed I had a daughter
Right. Right.
because my village was just really great.
Mhm.
So my dad would get her every weekend. And
Okay. This is the problem. Her father that she's mentioning, you'll find out later on that the father she's talking about is her stepfather. It's not a real father. Her biological father was in prison. Whatever happened, happened. I'm not judging the man for that, but that's where he was. And it gives you an understanding of where her mindset is coming from. Her stepfather stepped in to pick up her daughter every weekend. So, what do you think that means she was doing every weekend? Running the damn streets. Now, I don't know about you, but one of the things my single mother told me when I had a child young, 18 or 19 going on 20, was that she wasn't going to be the one taking care of it. So babysitting was not what she was going to be there for. And she wasn't running the streets. But no, I chose to have a child. It's my responsibility to be taking care of that child. That means the street running is over. For 5 years, she never babysat that child. Seriously. So this woman, you'll find out later how old she was when she had a child, which was 18. Her father was coming over every weekend to watch this child for her. No, I don't agree.
and from the time she was born up until recent, because now she's a teenager, she make her
She
own
make her
little
own
decisions.
decisions. That's right.
But up until
No. Teenagers make some decisions. They don't make all their own decisions. If they made all their own decisions, they wouldn't live in your damn house. They just wouldn't. That's what moving out is about. If you have a teenager making all these decisions in your house, you don't run your house. That's a problem. That's another red flag.
recent, her dad used to get her like Wednesday through Friday. So that would
Oh,
leave me what?
her father. Okay.
This is the other part. If she has, how she's breaking this down, if the biological father of the child is getting the child, what did she say, Wednesday through Friday? She's messing up her own timeline. Let me go back to a second. 1 second before I say this, before I say too much.
Decisions.
That's right.
But up until recent, her dad used to get her like Wednesday through Friday. So
Okay, so up until recently, the father, the biological father of this child, we get the child Wednesday through Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She's saying that her father picks the child up on the weekends, every weekend. So when is she actually spending time with this child? Monday and Tuesday? Maybe Sunday? Out of 7 days? Okay.
so that would leave
Oh, her
me
father. Her
what?
father. Okay.
Monday and Tuesday.
Mhm.
Which means if I'm
Oh,
dating, I
you're
have
free. You have
Wednesday
free
through
time.
Sunday
Yeah, you have
to
free
make
time.
plans and
Free
arrangements.
time.
Okay, so she said it. Out of the 7 day, out of 7 days in a week, Wednesday through Sunday, she is free to run the streets. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days out the week, she's free to run the streets and the weekend. But Monday and Wednesday, she reserving for her parenting time. You tell me this is somebody who wanted to be a mother or just figured out that this was something that, she just had to do for her own little self.
Okay.
So
That's
Mondays
fair.
and
That's
Tuesdays
fair.
was off limits, right?
Okay.
So I'm just now entering the single parenting dating realm now that I
Okay.
have Miguel.
Okay.
And even though I still have my village, it's not the same. I'm a little older.
Mhm.
Yeah. So now it's
So now she is no longer with a man and she has Miguel, which is a second child. And now she's in the single dating realm. So to me, that sounds like she had a baby with a man that she was in a relationship with, and they have fallen out since the second child has come. And the second child is young. So here she is out dating again. Why is she dating? Looking for a man? Or she just looking for a loose penis?
now it's making arrangements. It's like,
Okay.
whoa, yeah, this is hard.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I can speak generally. I can speak in general or whatever. No. We're gonna speak direct, brother. I want. No, listen. I want the nitty gritty. I want to hear because listen, man. I gotta live vicariously through you,
Right.
bro. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I feel okay. I'll say this. For me personally, dating is not dating is not it's not complex for me.
Okay.
Because one, I don't have any restrictions.
Right.
Okay.
And by me saying that, yes, I do have older kids. So
No, but we mean how was dating when your kids were younger?
when they were younger, well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, when my kids were younger, when I was dating, it was a little bit of a challenge. Because of course I have
Yeah.
kids and the other individuals didn't have kids, so they didn't understand.
Mm.
Now, I'm going to stop it right there just to point out something. When my son was younger, I dated. My dating time was not on the weekends. I did not date during the week. Or excuse me, I did not date on the weekends. I did not. Weekends were reserved for my child. Right? So Friday night till Monday, I was with my child. And that's all I was doing was with my child. Now, my child was split between two homes. So I worked all day, and during the week, I would see my child at least twice in the week when I could, when his mother would allow me to. And then I would have him all weekend. Now, dating as a single father is a lot different, especially with women who do not have children, because women without children do not necessarily want to date a man with a child, especially a black man. That's weird. That's not what they're looking for. And the reason why is you'll hear it come out of her a little bit. You'll hear it come out of her, but we'll let it go.
The importance of me helping my children do their homework, putting them to bed,
That was
or
me.
maybe cooking dinner for them to make sure that they were okay. And sometimes I used to get a lot of backlash, attitude.
Really?
Yeah, of course, because sometimes certain women can be selfish.
Yeah, I was about to say,
because
that's
they're
very
right,
selfish.
because they're
Now you hear her saying that's really selfish, and she doesn't really believe that. It is a truism. You know this about women if you've dated women. Women don't like to share shit. And one of the main things they don't want to share with a man that they're involved with is his time. If it's not work, maybe the gym, she don't want to be sharing no time. She don't want to split any more of that time with you. Anything. Unless it's like what this woman will be talking about soon.
not in that position because they don't understand what parenting is. So
Right.
of course, so they used to always get mad. Oh, you're not spending enough time with me. And I used to like take offense to it or whatever.
I'm spending time with my kids.
Yeah, I have to spend time with my kids. I actually cut off women that came at me like that.
Oh, wow.
Now, back in the day when my child was young, I would still go and see him at his mother's house. His mother still, mind you, this is 19, 20 years old. His mother still stayed with her parents. I would work. I would get finished with my work, which was close by, and I'd walk over and go see my son and spend some time with my son. Right. The girlfriend I had at the time didn't like that shit. Did not like it at all. Reason being, she thought every time I was going over there to see my son and spend time with my son, bond with this child that doesn't stay in my house with me. She thought I was over there fucking on my son's mother. She didn't trust that situation like that. Now, eventually, I end up having to break up with that chick because she caused a lot of drama in that situation because she didn't trust that. Not that I had ever did anything, not that anything was ever said. She just did not trust it because the mentality is if this woman's had your baby, you can always get back between her legs. So she didn't trust it. And she didn't have any kids.
You get what I'm saying? So
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So I can say it was difficult when my kids were younger, when I was dating and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because my kids is my priority. They come first.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm not a person that particularly likes to date people with kids.
And what did I say? Now, understand the hypocrisy of this right now. She has 2 kids. I'm judging her age about in her 30s, maybe 35. She has 2 kids and she was in a relationship before she was single. But listen to what comes out of her mouth about not dating people with kids.
Anyways, so
Why is that? Why is that?
I prefer not to date people with kids because I don't like to deal with drama. So it has nothing to do with the kids. I love kids.
Okay.
She loves kids, but she spends 2 days a week with her kids. Any other day of the week, somebody else got them. The village has them, but she loves kids. What the fuck she don't? And it's not drama she's worried about. Trust me.
But I just don't like to deal with the drama. And usually they have some form of drama, even if it's not necessarily like super chaotic or toxic. It's some form of, you guys have an issue.
Okay.
And I don't like to deal with it because I don't have those issues.
Fair?
Now, this just reading her body language wise, or eye movements and stuff like that, and how she's behaving, I don't believe it's issues that she's worried about, toxicity or anything like that, because she does not give me the vibe that she is a very peaceful person. And as this goes on, you'll see she is not a peaceful person at all. She's not. So it's not drama that she's trying to avoid. And because it's so vague, it means she will look at anything to call that drama to find her way out because she's looking for control. She's looking for control and she's looking for attention. It has to be on her. That is why she does not want to date a man that already has children because there is nothing she is offering him besides for JJ and bringing those kids along to give him the benefit of feeling like a father. That's it. If he has kids, she can't give that to him.
It's very fair. So people always say that to me, like, that's not fair because you have kids, right?
Come on.
But the way I counter that is, yes, I have kids, but I don't have that dynamic. You know what I mean? Like,
but I understand, but that's not fair.
It is
you
because
can't just X somebody
I'm
out.
telling you, I don't want to deal with you because of the drama that comes along.
What if there's no
with
drama? You can't.
9 times out of 10, I was always right.
See, she thinks she knows it all. 9 times out of 10, I was always right. About what? There being drama in somebody else's relationship, but there's none in yours. There may be none in yours in this sense because she feels like she has control over that. She doesn't have control over the other situation. That's why she don't like it. It doesn't give her enough attention, and she has no control over it. She don't want to be part of it. That's why. Carrying on.
It's always a female lingering with chaos and toxicity and it's not because, and I know that because even just when you talk to people, like I remember being younger, like in my 20s, and I talked to people about me and my daughter's dad's relationship, and they're like, that's not normal. you know, because we don't have that drama and toxicity. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to date nobody with kids because people my age, the girls are still holding on to this man and it's some type of something going on. You can't see your kid. I don't like that. All that drama. I don't want no parts of that.
So you're not.
I don't give that drama to nobody.
So you're not even gonna give it a chance to see.
I don't want to.
Just because.
I'm not saying I'm not going to. I'm just saying you got to have a lot of other wonderful characteristics.
I'm saying though, but that's a disqualification.
Yeah, I don't really want to deal with people.
So my brother, if you got a child, you disqualify. Ain't that something?
I love kids though. Like I really love kids. It's just sometimes you know, I feel like domestic violence is very serious. Okay. And a lot of
how did she make the jump to domestic violence? Oh my God.
These situations, these women and men that don't know how to let go and they feel like the baby mom or the baby dad is supposed to be with them forever. I can't insert myself into a type of chaos like that because I don't bring that chaos to nobody. Well, I don't have that type of drama going on.
I'll tell you.
Now, this is where I will agree with her on this part. I don't believe, even having dated single mothers, I don't bring any drama to the situation. I'm not coming in there to be arguing with the biological father. That's not my job. I don't do that. If we're not together, we are not together. Right? It's just what it is. Now, a woman with a child inevitably will always try to push you in that role to be the father figure to that child over the biological father. Always. It's never not happened. That is a natural imperative of them. That's the whole reason they're out there dating anyway. They're looking for a replacement for the biological father. And if she picks you, that's what she's going to do. She's going to have you there. And in this modern era, it'll probably start really simply of always sending you pictures of her and the child together. Because she's trying to get you comfortable with understanding that this is your role. They're just there waiting on you. So one of the things they also look for is the drama. Women live for drama. Ask them the TV shows they watch, and you can see that drama, that need for that drama to have it ingested in themselves lives there. They love that shit. So inevitably, if you're a man dating a single mother, she will try to put you in that role of a father, and then she will put you in that role of having some kind of beef with the biological father. It's just what's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen. So you have to be wary of that going into the situation. And you have to understand that that is not your role to be in there to be having that drama. So what she's saying, I can agree with, that she don't want that drama. But she would not be in a position to have any drama like that because she's the woman with the kids. Her dating a man with kids ain't going to put her in the middle of shit.
See what? Because that's from a female perspective.
Yeah.
From the male perspective, I've heard a lot of times, even through social media, it's a lot of guys that they don't want to date women with kids either.
Yeah.
Because they feel like,
what's that reasoning?
Well, I'm saying, but they feel like, why should I invest into that situation when it's not my child? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I understand what you're saying. You're saying drama.
Though. Okay. She's saying something that we in 2024 as men should understand and get through our heads and stop listening to. Women don't define manhood. They don't define what a man is. They don't hold the rights to manhood. They don't hold the counsel on who's a man and who's not. They don't. Men do. Men do. So her saying that it's not a man if he doesn't want to take care of your kids from another man is irrelevant. That is a greedy person looking for more than they already have. They want more resources because she'll never see it like that. She never will. Why? Because it's all about the benefit for her. That's why she's thinking, well, that's not a man. It is very much so a man. The protection of your resources and your time is manhood. And putting it where you desire it to go is manhood. She wouldn't know anything about that shit.
Well,
I-
let me piggyback on that.
Yeah,
That's
tell,
not a
I'm saying, break it
man.
down for me.
Okay, so this is what
Because
I'm-
you're sick, so you know.
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So okay, and the men that don't date women with kids, I understand where they're coming from because don't no man want to play Mr. Cleanup guy, right? Especially if it's a productive, competitive
Artisan ain't the cleanup man.
man. Why should he come in that situation to clean up that situation?
Why not?
Nah, I don't.
Because it's not his to do. This is another thing about manhood that a lot of women will never get. It's not your job to do somebody else's. It's their job. Men understand that shit. Women see it as well, somebody will do it. Men see it as you better get that motherfucker to do it because that's his job. I'll do my job, you do yours. Simple.
I don't agree with it.
I get that you're saying you don't agree, but I'm
Right.
saying why not?
So dating single moms, right? Let me rephrase that. Dating single modern women. This is 3 questions that I will ask them.
Now, I've seen this part of the video already, but I will say at this point when he goes into his points that he's going to list off, shout out and RIP to Kevin Samuels. Because a lot of what this guy is going to say on his side, which is fire, it was fire the first time I heard it. And the first time we heard it came out of the Black Manosphere and came from Kevin Samuels. And this is what he was getting a lot of heat from chicks all about, saying these simple things. This guy will repeat them and pitch them to her, and you can watch how it. We'll see what happens. Let's just go. So, R.I.P. to KS.
What is it that you can offer me that you haven't given to another man?
Oh my goodness.
This is what I said. What can you offer me that you haven't given to another man? And the reason why I'm saying that because one, you shared your youth, your fertility, and your womb with another man.
Those were all Kevin Samuels points. The main one is one I use often, right? I've used that before in my life, before knowing Kevin, right? What can you give me that you have not given any other man? Because what that entails for me is removing sex from the table. If I want to pick somebody to be with, somebody that I want to wake up to every day, sex is the last thing on my list because sex is the first and the easiest thing they can give me. So I want the meat. Forget the window dressing. I want the actual meal. So what can you give me that you haven't given anybody else? In a modern era, that's a very short list because the main thing that they don't give is respect. The first thing they do give away is sex.
You shared your womb. You gave another man the biggest honor that you can give him, right? And my second question to that woman will be like, why didn't work out with the father of the kid that you know what I'm saying that you had a kid with?
Okay, that's Kevin's second point. He's stumbling through it, but the point basically is why didn't it work out with the other guy? And asking a woman that point blank. Because what you will hear is a lot of around the rosy shit, but what you won't hear is any accountability on her for the failure of the relationship. That's what you won't hear. You have to hear that through what she tells you because it's not going to be in what she tells you. It's going to be in what she didn't tell you.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because you created this family. So why should I give up my resources to take care of your kids? Right? Because men, we're very territorial, right? Because one, I have to share you with your kids. That is not mine. And also I have to share you with the father of your kids, who is to know what time the father of your kids is on. Because as of late, I've been seeing men been killing other men because they're dealing with their exes. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, that is a valid point, right? That he's bringing up. One of the things that women want men to do, modern or otherwise, is to provide, right? So that means you have to have some resources of your own, be able to provide a home, money to take care of simple stuff, put the kids in school, after school programs, all that shit, right? Even a woman who has kids by another man when you meet her expects that. There is not a one that doesn't. I don't care how much money she's making. She expects you, if you're going to be there with her, to do something for them damn kids, depending on their age, right? Now, the other part is every man has to protect. How do you protect your home if another man outside your home still has hooks or ties into your woman? How do you protect your home that way? And the other question is, how do you know what kind of BS he's on? That goes back to the first question of understanding why the relationship didn't work. Was he violent? Did he go to jail? What was that situation about? So I know what I'm walking into and dealing with. Oh, he was abusive. And oh, really? Interesting. So you were having babies by a violent guy. This is all stuff that you need to know if you're coming in to be the provider and the protector. The first part of protection is that everything under my home need to follow my rules. And I need to know who has access to this home and you, so I can effectively protect you. Now, the situation that he's talking about there being issues between the father and the biological father coming in is an interesting thing. I'm going to stop this for a quick second and bring up this other video that I have that happened to come up when I was setting up this video. I checked on Instagram and this came up as one of the pages that I follow. And it speaks to this situation perfectly. Now, this all comes down to how you vet women and why you ask these questions of her that she doesn't like, especially about what's the situation with the other father. Now, this video is from Child Support is Fraud on Instagram, right? Shout out to that brother. He put some good content up. And what you see is the biological father in the black shirt in the barbershop going off on stepdaddy or the boyfriend in the light blue shirt. Why is he going off on him, you may ask? Because he brought the son to the barbershop. You want to hear some of this? Let's go.
Ass not answering the phone, huh? Ass probably what I thought ass.
Hey, bro. Man, why not told
Hey,
you?
watch
Why
your
get him out your car?
That's not your mother's son. That's my mother's son.
You
This
go
want to be
to
wrestling
that
with so motherfucking bad. This want to be wrestling with so bad. Where you going? We got to see him.
Hey, bro, you going to them? Hey, bro.
I need all this little Hey, she still answering the phone, huh?
Hey, bro. All right. I'm really showing you. You're going to them.
Now, if you come in playing stepdaddy and you don't understand who the man is on the opposite side of you, of that child, these are the situations your ass can end up in. This is a video from today. This is modern. This ain't a back in the day story somebody telling you. This is live and happening right now, or has happened right now. And this is what you're seeing. Now, this man is left to his devices. And what is his devices? To call the baby mama, to call the woman that he's seeing, to tell her, your baby daddy down here acting a fool.
Oh, down here.
Hey, like I said, watch your motherfucking car.
Ain't your motherfucking son.
Hold on. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Keisha. Hey, can you up in here trying to take Sean with him? What? You ain't seen her nowhere until you pay your child support.
What? Child support, that little bitty ass. Your boy.
Should I say our boy?
That ain't our shit. That's my motherfucking son.
World Star.
So there you go. This is what he is dealing with a single mother. Just taking a boy to the barbershop. This is why I don't agree necessarily with being a stepdaddy, which is why I understand now as I've gotten older that dating single mothers in that sense can be a problem. That's a danger to that man. Not the baby daddy in there going to fuck off, and not the baby mama there who ain't there and can barely answer the phone. And like the baby father was telling him, she's probably out there fucking on somebody else. Why would he know that? Because that's how the dude in the blue shirt got her. But let's get back to this, because this is why this situation is problematic. It's not everybody, but it's enough of them to have a conversation about this.
And I don't know if that man may want to cause some harm to me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understand everything when men are saying I don't want to date single mothers with kids or whatever. You get my point?
I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
So
what's the third question?
So and let me
Yeah,
ask you
waiting
this
for the
question,
third
bro.
one.
If you went to the store, would you buy a product? Would you buy a product that had a broken seal?
No, I'm not gonna.
You wouldn't. Why you wouldn't buy a product that had a broken
somebody
seal?
because it's already been. I don't know what's in there.
It's the same thing.
The reason you don't want to buy products with a broken seal is the potential for it to be tampered with, contaminated, or in some way hurt you if you take it. Yeah. Good analogy. Good analogy.
That's the reason why men
So-
say they don't want to date women with kids, because you already have been tainted. You already shared your wound
Well,
with another man. So
But are you serious right now?
yes, I'm being very serious.
So okay.
I'm being very
So
serious.
to
Trigger alert. Now, remember that this is the person that says she don't like drama. Look at her face right now and listen with your ears to what comes next.
be a counter to
Mhm.
that, because that is absolute. I'm gonna keep
Go
it a
ahead.
buck. That's some bullshit, and
I don't
I'm
think so.
going. That's some motherfucking bullshit.
Does this sound like a drama-free woman? Does it? It don't sound like no drama-free woman to me. It sounds like she's willing to go in. But listen to her mouth.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead.
Because I'm gonna say it is because you just said your first question was, well, I'm gonna ask a woman, what can she get? What can you give a woman that you ain't give to another female?
Okay. All right.
A ring. A positive relationship. It's fucking simple. It's fucking simple. And it's just removing sex from the table and talking about the other shit that's left there.
Okay.
What can you? But no,
okay, let me
no,
ask you
no,
the question.
no.
Okay, go ahead. Vic, go
What
ahead.
can you give another female that you haven't? What can you give this woman that you haven't given to another female? Why does it have to be that a woman have to bring you something? I'm not. Who the fuck are you that I gotta bring you something?
I'm the person that you would want to be your husband. You better be bringing something. If I'm expected to bring something to the table, you have to bring something to the table, because that's how relationships work. It's called reciprocation. I give, you give. You give, I give. If it's not reciprocal, we ain't having that handshake. If you just gonna sit back and what you bringing me, I don't have to bring you shit. Who's taking on whose name? Because I'm not taking on yours. And you coming with kids. So what are you exactly bringing except extra mouths to feed?
Okay.
What are you bringing to me?
Okay.
It goes both ways. I thought. Now that's one. Now two, you're saying, well, you don't know what that circumstance could be, what that situation could be. So are you speaking from a standpoint of a man who does not have kids just yet?
Both.
Or
Single?
you can't speak from both. And the reason I'm gonna say you can't is
Mhm.
because just as you're a man, if you are
He can speak from both because he has been both. He has been the man that hasn't had kids dating, and he's been the man who does have kids dating. So he can actually speak from both. But you can't dictate to him where he can speak and where he can't. That's the one problem she's having. Now, the reason I wanted you guys to listen to that is, and to listen how this ratchets up in her verbiage to him, is to understand, close your eyes and put yourself in a room with this woman and she's pissed at you and listen to what you're hearing. This is what comes out of her. This is her. So this is what you're going to be dealing with on top of the kids.
Are a man that has children, to say that to a woman that has children, it almost sounds, not almost, it's narcissistic as hell.
It's not narcissism. A narcissist would not even have the conversation with the woman. Why? Because a narcissist is above it. She wouldn't even be on his radar. Because she would be so far beneath him, she'd have to jump in front of his car for him to stop for her.
Because if you've given another woman kids, who are you to ask a woman what you got to offer me because you gave a nigga kids?
Because man's childbearing potential is limitless. It is not time sensitive at all. A man 90 years old with one motivated swimmer can get a 20-year-old pregnant today. But a 90-year-old woman ain't getting pregnant no kind of way. So yes, it's a completely different situation. It could be a double standard, but so the hell what? A lot of things in life are double standards.
Did you not give another woman kids? So what happened with that family that you were building? Why did that not work out?
So the tactic here, from a psychological thing, is she's trying to project. She's trying to reverse it, right? She's asking questions instead of answering the questions that he asked. So she's just trying to flip it. She never answered the questions. She's just taking his questions and referring it back to men like it should be all the same. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Because if he was saying this to a woman with no kids, what he could give her is what she ain't had. Children. That's what he can give her. And not only children, generally, specifically, children by him. Which means if he's a multimillionaire, those children would be entitled to those multi-millions. Or if he's a bum on the street, the children will be entitled to the streets. So yes, he's still bringing a lot.
Okay, so can I answer your question?
Sure.
Okay, one, Vic, it's a double standard. Unfortunately, men can do it. You can. A woman cannot do what a man do. And two,
yes, we can.
Okay.
No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm waiting to see the woman who lifts 800 pounds. I'm waiting to see the woman who can go into a ring with a bunch of other men night after night and knock them the fuck out. Now that's all physical feats, right? Okay. I'm waiting to see a woman go to war and actually save a shitload of people just on her own grit and determination. Who's going to lay in the mud, the muck, the mire, the blood, the bodies and stuff like that, and still do that to save other people, to be selfless in the face of potential danger for themselves. I'm waiting to hear all these battle hymns about all these people out there conquering the world and inventing all this stuff and risking their lives to build the society, the culture, the world that we have today. I'm waiting to see the stories about all those women.
Okay, but let me say this. I know the detractors and the critics going to come for me because I have kids. One, my kids are grown. I have a 23-year-old.
But at one point they weren't.
But let me answer the question. I'll let you talk. Let me talk.
You're right.
I have two girls. I have a 23-year-old and I have
Still
a
talking.
20-year-old. My oldest daughter has recently graduated from college on her way to grad school.
Well, damn. Sounds like a father. He put a child through college? Off to grad school? A daughter at that? And he got 2? Holy shit. Let me hear the rest of this.
Yes,
My
Lord.
second daughter, she'll be graduating from college pretty soon, right? Secondly, I've never been married. So what I can offer a woman is marriage. That's the biggest
it?
honor. Listen, hold up. That's the biggest honor a man can give a woman is marriage. Yes.
Now she's laughing at that because she has never been married and she doesn't value marriage at all. That's why that shit is funny to her. Because a man can offer a woman marriage. A woman cannot offer a man marriage. She can't. She can offer sex. She can't offer marriage. It's not how the shit works. And that's one of those double standards. We just don't talk about that one. Because he can offer you a ring. You don't have to accept it. You can offer him a piece of cooch. You don't have to accept it.
That is the biggest offer I can offer a woman is marriage. Because you know why? Can't no woman ever said that I was married to them. So that would give that other woman bragging rights that I've given you the biggest honor by marrying you.
I wouldn't call it bragging rights, but I would say that modern women do not value marriage, which is why a lot of them are not married. They're choosing to be single and, do their hot girl thing forever. Fine. But what I understand it, how I understand it to be, to me, as a man, wife is the highest plateau in that relationship with a woman. It is. That's the highest plateau. The only thing that gets higher than that is lifelong relationship, 30, 40 years married. Okay. Girlfriend, if you even use that term as an adult, is way down there in adolescence, maybe your 20s and shit like that. After a point, that's your lady or that's your wife. Your fiance, your wife. That's it. Mother of your children would maybe be above wife if you did it in the correct order. But they don't value all of that stuff, so that's why she's scoffing and laughing at it. Wife is the highest plateau. That's the peak. Anything below that is not. But here she is, unmarried, haven't been married, laughing at being a wife. How do you get there? Because you don't get there without a man. But maybe that's why you see single mothers marrying their sons and shit.
You're not just my baby mama, but you're my wife. And you can research my name. You will not see my name logged on any marriage license in all 50 states of America. Yes, and that's what it is. I'm bringing marriage and I'm bringing my resources to you. That's what I'm bringing. Resources and marriage. And I have receipts because I am successful. When my kids were born, I always had custody of my kids and I have receipts. And my kids' success shows it. So I know what I'm talking about.
And he's right there. Your kid's success shows what kind of father he was, that he was actually involved in pushing those kids to actually, or I shouldn't say pushing them, motivating them to do more. And because of that, they've done more. You can look at the studies, CDC, anybody else, to see that Black fathers who get to be fathers and not micromanaged by the village are some of the best fathers, and they can push their children to those plateaus. They can. But it doesn't happen when you got somebody sitting on the other side of you like this, trying to shoot down any efforts that you put. So we'll have to wait and see what her children turn out like. But his results are already showing. Hush.
Ralph, do you have something to add?
Go ahead.
No, she needs some time to process.
No,
she didn't have a rebuttal for that one.
Okay.
You're not a single parent, so it's a little bit more harder.
No, I'm not a single parent, but I grew up in a single household.
Right.
So I grew up without a father.
Now, I'm not trying to attack the host, but this will lead into showing his bias in this situation. Now, I didn't grow up with a father in the house either, right? Not my biological father. There were men that were there that my mother was with, but they weren't my biological father. But I understand that mentality that he's coming from. I just do not have it. I just know.
I've always wanted a father,
Right.
whether mine or not,
Right.
whether like blood or not. So I always wish that I had somebody to kind of like lace me up,
Right.
guide me, because you know we bump our heads a lot. So
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, what you're saying, because you're like, and I get the whole thing. That's not my child. Why should I invest my time? But I'm saying, like, for me, because I wanted that, so I can understand from both. But I wanted that. That's not something I would. If I meet a woman with children, that's not a deal breaker for me.
Right.
Because when I was in high school, I was dating a girl that was out of high school with kids.
Right.
So yeah, she had one child, a son. But I love kids though. So to me, it's not like I don't look at it like I'm wasting my time or because I always hear people say, well, if I date a woman with children, one day her children is going to denounce me and say, you're not my father.
Yeah.
But for me, I always look at it this way. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Because
Okay. I was rocking with him up until that point. It's not a rite of passage to tell somebody who is dating your mama, not your biological father, you are not my daddy. That is not a rite of passage. If you think that's a rite of passage, you have to understand that your understanding of shit is very dysfunctional. Because that's what that shows. Disrespect and dysfunction. My understanding is this. If your mother at some point was not married, had children, and actually met a man who was willing to be with her, even though she already had a child. And this is just talking about the woman with one child, not two or three, but a child. He came in and wanted to be a decent man with her, regardless of having a child by somebody else, and make a household and a family with her. And you, as the child, disrespect him to say, you're not my father, you need to have a taste slapped out of your mouth. Because that's hella disrespectful. Being a father is a hard job when you're biologically the father and not with the mother. You definitely don't need that shit as a step parent. Hell no. I'm not saying you got to kiss their ass, but that should never come out of your damn mouth. Never should. And the only way it does is if you have somebody on the other side like this sitting in this chair.
at the end of the day,
Yep.
if we're bickering and I'm trying to give you the right things to do, the right thing to say, the only way for you to hurt me or to make me feel little is by you to say, well, you're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do. And I call it a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Now, I understand what he's saying is that common rebuttals always show up, right? If you talk to people enough, if you understand people enough, you know the common responses that will come out of their mouth. I do this all the time, which is why I get bored with people a lot of the time, because I hear the same shit come out of their mouth that I already knew that they were going to say. It's no original thought. It's all trope shit. Be that as it may, a kid saying that is hella disrespectful. Hella disrespectful. And it should not be just, oh, that's okay. It don't matter. No fucking way. It does matter. And that's how you, by making it matter, that's how you change that for being something that you just feel like you have to accept. Bullshit. Huh.
That wouldn't bother me. But again, I'm speaking from me not having a dad.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something that I always wish I had.
Right.
So to me, that's not really a deal breaker. But I'm not speaking for all men. I'm only speaking for myself.
Right. And
I
also,
want to rock. I wouldn't do
right,
that. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, bro, it's not that it's a deal breaker, but me, just how I think if a man is going to be dating a single modern mother, that single modern woman is going to have to go above and beyond to show herself approved to that man. Because why would that man select you when he could go out there and select a much younger woman that is childless? That's not going to bring the chaos to him. Because like I said earlier today, who is to say what time the father of your kids is on?
Okay, what he's pointing out is another KS point, but it's an obvious point. And it's the point to women to understand what their situation is in that dating market. Yes, you can be 32-year-old hot woman with 2 kids, right? Cool. You are not the only woman on the planet. There could be another woman, 32 years old, hot, with no kids. And both of y'all eyeballing the same man. What makes the single mother a better deal for that man than the woman standing next to her that doesn't have any kids? What? Because I can tell you this, the single mother cannot offer him a child like it's special. But that single woman with no kids, oh, that child will be special because it'll be their child that they made together from their union. Yeah, he can offer either one of them a ring, and it will be a benefit to either one of them to be married. The only difference is the single mother is already coming with her baggage with the family that didn't work before. So you're not on the same playing field like that. You're not. And that's just what it is. We didn't make it that way. The man looking at you didn't make it that way. You made it that way. And like I always say, accountability is a modern woman's kryptonite. They don't want to take that. And that's why this person gets triggered about that shit.
You get where I'm coming
So
from?
you're looking
Right,
at
but that's
safety.
only one. That's
Correct.
only one perspective that is a very important
Very
perspective, of course. But it's only one. So, like, even when you say me being okay, I'm gonna take myself. Me being someone I didn't.
Now, this is the other thing that modern women can only do. They can only speak for themselves. They want to generalize you to death about everybody else and what everybody else think, but they never look outside of themselves. They can't. That is narcissism. That's narcissism.
Didn't grow with my father.
Okay.
I would hate if my mother had met men with that mindset that you just described.
Now she's using that to attack the guy with, basically. She's using that to attack him with. How does your personal story attack him? I'd hate if my mother had met somebody like you. Because she's offended by what he said. Even though he didn't say it about her, she personalized it to herself to try to turn around and attack him. Anyway, common trope that I get tired of seeing and hearing.
Because the men that my mother, and it wasn't a lot of men or whatever, but like my stepfather came along when I was like in 4th grade. I thank God for him every day. You understand? Like, my father wasn't present in my life. He stepped in and he did what no other man did all the way through till I was all the way in college. They didn't get divorced until years later.
Okay, so this is the point I'm really seasoned upon, and I saw this when BGS was playing it. He didn't mention it, but I did. I am. This part that she talks about her stepfather coming into her life when she was in 4th grade, and he was in her life all the way up until she was, through college and stuff like that. It tells me her mom was a single mother. She's a single mother, reinforcing bad behavior. And her mama used her stepdaddy to get her through school for his resources and his love for her. That's what I see. Because soon as that girl was out of college, there ain't no more benefit for him. There's no more money you can pour into this trough. Mama was divorced. Mama was divorced. Why do you get divorced after all that time? What's the reasoning? What's the reasoning? If you've been married and had kids, most people get divorced after the kids get to a point where you ain't got to pour as much into them anymore. They do. High school going off to college, parents will get divorced. Especially if they never loved the motherfucker they was with and had the kids with. It's easier when you get a man to come in and play daddy. After the benefit for them kids is gone, you don't need the resources anymore for him to pour into that child because the child is grown. Then he can fuck off because you never liked him anyway. You saw him as a cash grab. And it's easy to let go of the bag when you think it's empty.
And that man saved my life in so many ways. He was and we did have fights.
Now this gets into how she is in relationships, how she talks about dealing with her stepfather is what a man would be getting. And now you'll see why she's having such a problem with this understanding that the guy AJ is giving her. She don't want to understand that because inevitably she don't respect men. She don't.
Like teenagers, kids, you got kids, kids say your kids say crazy stuff to you. So just
No, they don't. You know why? Because they my fucking kids. And my kids know better. They're trained to know better. Kids that ain't trained and don't think the person that they talking to has any authority over them whatsoever will talk just the way she's gonna tell you about talking to her stepfather.
imagine what they're gonna say to a stranger in the midst of being upset.
It's like I said, dog. Like for me,
but sorry, not to cut you off.
No,
So I'm just saying, thank God for him, because I tell him all the time, if I had my father's out of prison now, if I get married, both of them have to walk me down the aisle because he really raised me.
Yeah.
So that thought process is, to me, is just mind blowing and it's insane.
Now, the thought process that she's putting out there is mind blowing in and of itself because her father is out of prison now. He hasn't been there, obviously, since she was in 4th grade to raise her. This other man has poured all his time and resources into raising her. Everyday tutelage and all that stuff. And she's saying that if she gets married, they both have to walk her down the aisle. Okay. They both have to walk her down the aisle. Who's paying for the wedding? Who's paying for the motherfucking wedding? Is it the father that just got out of prison? Or is it the stepfather that stepped in to do what no other man was doing and pour his money into raising this little piece? Is that why he get to be there? Because traditionally, the whole walking down the aisle thing is one man passing off the responsibilities to her future husband, but also the bride's family pays for the wedding. So she need them both there to be on the hook? I don't think the one coming out of prison is going to be on the hook for the money. But you're going to show him that much more respect when you got stepdaddy paying for it and watching your fucking kids.
The reason I don't want to date people with kids, I don't concern myself with what the kids may or may not say, because what you give a kid is what they're going to give you back. And once they get to that age of teenage, we know teenagers, so that's not even something to take personal. I'm expecting you to say it, because if you don't say it, I think something ain't right.
Like I was saying, dysfunctional understanding. No. If you don't say that, that shows you have some respect and understand the situation that you're in. You were able to read the room. You're in a position where somebody is coming in and spending a lot of time and a lot of effort on your behalf, and that's not your biological at all. So they don't really have to do this at all. They don't. They can walk away tomorrow. But the fact that they're there doing it, they're showing you that kind of respect. You show them that respect back as a child, I would think.
Because that's what kids are going to say.
Some kids won't say it.
Yeah.
But again, if you do say it, it's like, to me, it's like,
it's a hit or miss.
It's like, I'm going to laugh at you like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I like, my advice on this, man, is not going to, because I said, I can't.
You're not
I can't say you're wrong. I can't say you're right. I can't say.
Okay. He's not there to say if they're wrong or right. Reason being, he is the host of a show. He's the moderator. He's supposed to be spurring the dialogue. He is not there to call balls and strikes and tell him who's right and who's wrong. He's not, because he can't. He's not a single father like AJ is, and he's not a single mother like Vic is. So neither one of their worlds whatsoever. So you can't tell him if it's wrong or right either way. Either way. All you can do is listen and moderate the conversation. And say what you feel is valid or what you feel is invalid. It is. Because they both got their experiences.
All I'm saying is, for me, I'm black, bro. So I only know how to be black.
Right.
And all I'm saying is a lot of us, we grew up fatherless,
Yeah.
you know, and I think it's because we always talk about back in the days and stuff like that. I think a lot of times, man.
And I'm sick of people using this phrase nowadays, back in the days. What does back in the days mean now? Since that came in to me a little before Gen X, people need to start putting some context on what back in the days were. What days are they talking about? 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? What days we talking about? We're in the 2020s right now, so we need to understand what days are you talking about. Are you talking about the 50s? You talking about the 60s? What days are we talking about? Because we know as black people, at a point, those traditions were destroyed. And it mainly came out of the 70s and 80s. So what days are you talking about? Because in the days that I remember, children would not talk to grown-ups that way. And the ones that did were seeing that something was wrong with them.
And the difference with why back in the days was probably a lot better than today is because a man, when he meets a woman, he didn't care how many kids she had.
Bullshit. Men always care about how many children you got because men are always responsible for taking care of you and the children you have. Which is why I want to know what days is he talking about. That's always been the case. So you can't sit there and say some man back in the 70s will see a woman with 3 kids and not even worry about that. Like, oh, I got that. No, that was always an option of concern. It was always a reason to be concerned. That was why back in the days, be it the 60s, women who had children and were not married were sent off to another state with the family to have the babies. They didn't want that shame. No, because that's not the way that shit was supposed to be done. It was not praised. It was shamed. Single motherhood was not the desired result. It was a failure in you following the actual result.
You know what I'm saying? If he loved that woman, like that woman, you know,
Took her and
you
her
know,
kids.
it was all in.
Yep.
But it's different time, different
But
mindset.
can I piggyback off what you said?
Let me finish. I'm gonna let you
All
rock.
right, go ahead.
So I can only go off my experience. Like I
Okay.
said, I always wanted a dad. Never had one, but now I get to play one.
Right.
So,
and this is where I have another objection with him. He never had a dad. Now he gets to play one. To me, when I heard that initially, it speaks to his mentality. It speaks to his mentality. He is a grown man, but is a child inside playing dress up. Because fatherhood is not for play. Just like motherhood is not for play. If you're fucking playing, you have no business doing that because it's not a goddamn game. It's serious. You are touching and molding the minds of the people who will run this future. If you're in there playing, you ain't doing it right. Because you're not taking it serious. Like it is important. It is an investment. What you do actually matters. You playing. And as black people, we play too much. In some areas, in other areas, we don't play enough. Parenting, we play too much. My family, we don't play like that. We don't do play families, play relatives, none of that shit. It's about what's real and what's not. You either doing this or you're not. But it ain't gonna be no play. We ain't playing around here.
I get to be one. It's
Yeah,
the
I'm about to
most
say you get to
important.
be one.
Yeah, I get to be,
Yeah.
and I love being a dad. And to me, I don't look at a kid like that's mine or not mine. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like you a child, and you're with me. You're my child, no matter what. So, and I know it's gonna come a time, right? You're gonna go. Oh, you're not my father, and I'm okay with that. I'm cool. You're right. I'm not your dad, but I am your dad.
Yeah.
No, you're not. See, that's the thing. If he really loves being a dad like that, getting to play dad and get that feeling, he would have more of an investment if they were his kids. Because if him loving it don't make them kids love him any more or less. And if they ever came out their mouth and said something like that to him, that's not acceptable. It's not. It may be true as hell, but it ain't acceptable. Not after you've been there. Oh no. Because this is the difference between that. Your children, your biological children, can never say that shit to you. Never. They never can. They can say they don't want to recognize you as your father, whatever the hell else. But they can never say, you're not my daddy, as a reason to disrespect you and see what you say as lesser. Never. That's not a rebuttal.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not your dad, but I am your dad.
You're not. You are a father figure, not the father. Now, it sounds fucked up, but it can be nuanced, but I don't really believe in the idea of step parents. I really don't. Because for me, even if you have a step parent come in, they are not the biological, which means I don't believe they should have any more rights than the biological. And that goes for male or female. No, they don't. Some things have to be sacred. And yes, relationships sometimes don't work, but some things have to be sacred and be held to. Which means you can never supersede the actual biological parent. You don't. Because for my mentality, you always are who you were introduced to that child as. When my child came out the womb and they first learned how to speak, I was dad. When my child came out the room and first looked at their mother, that was mother. When our relationships didn't work and we went our separate ways, the next person that was in there was whoever the fuck their name was. They didn't introduce him as stepdaddy. They introduced him as stepmama. No, this is who the fuck they are. Not your mother, not your father. There's two positions and they both filled. But that's just me. Doesn't mean I disrespect step parents at all. I don't. I just don't believe in that concept like that. Because what inevitably happens based on the woman's side of it, sometimes it's guys too, step parents overstep their bounds. Or it's free for them to step the fuck out. The investment of blood is not there. It's not. There are some that it is, but a lot of them, you have to watch them as the biological parent. You have to watch them because they know they ain't that child's biological parent. And they can do some fucked up shit to your child that'll have you wondering 20, 30 years later why your child is in therapy talking about all the shit that happened to him by that step parent because they knew that wasn't their fucking child.
And I could take whatever comes along.
And as a kid that been there, I can tell you, we say that in that moment because we're upset, we're teenagers, we're young, our mind isn't fully formed. But I promise you, we come back and that apology is 10 freaking fold because we understand. But as a kid, you can't expect kids to understand.
Bullshit. You know why there's a difference between kids and adults? Because kids need to learn to understand. And kids learn understanding by adults teaching them understanding. What is okay to say, what's not to say, where can you walk and where can you not walk, why you shouldn't stand in the middle of the street, why you should walk near the edge. That's all on adults to teach them. Their parents to teach them that. It don't matter how mad you are. There's some shit you can't take back. And you learn that as a child, not as an adult.
But also, let me say this. Let me piggyback off what you said because you mentioned
You talking about
that.
the time?
Yeah, the times.
Yeah.
See, you have to understand. In those times, women used to honor men. You know, when a man came in and took over a family, that woman gave that man praise.
Facts.
You know, just honor because in today's time that we're living in, being a stepfather is like basically being down. You know what I'm saying? Being down talked upon, right? Because matter of fact, I see it all the time where modern single mothers will be like, oh, a man have to bring A, B, and C and D to me. But this man that you created this family with didn't even have to pay didn't have to pay that premium price.
But who's to
So
say that?
no, it's going on, it's omnipresent. So why does this man who is competitive, productive, has to come in and share his resources with you? For prime example. So if we do the Brady Bunch thing, right? If this woman have her kids, I have my kids, and we merge our family together, right? So every $100 that I spend within that household, 40% is going to go to your kids, 60% is going to go to my kids. So basically, I'm taking resources away from my biological kids to give it to your kids. Who is to say if those kids are going to appreciate me for what I'm doing for them, for being present, for being a father figure to them, right? At least I know if I have my own kids, my own biological kids, as long as I'm showing up for them, I'm taking care of them, I'm mentally present for my kids. At least I know when I become an old man one day, my kids are going to take care of me. I don't have to worry about my kids telling me, oh, you ain't my daddy. Why do I have to listen to you? And also, too, with
Okay, so we made some good points there and some stuff that I can actually rebut. I will say that this is another Kevin point on why should the new man coming in pay a higher premium than the one that was there making the children, which is true. It is part of human nature that every time you fail at something, you increase your standards, especially in dating. Women tend to believe they increase their standards with every failure, which means if a man didn't have this much money and the relationship failed, then the next man has to have more than the last one had. That she, in some way, should be failing upwards and not failing downwards. Okay, that's kind of understandable. It's unrealistic, but it is understandable that they would reach for a higher rung the next time around they're out there. Why should a man do it? I don't think you should do it. You shouldn't. But the barrier to entry for the first guy was probably lower because going through the story, she had her first child when she was 18. It means they were teenagers. Hopefully, he was about the same age as her. There was no barrier to entry for, how much you need to be making a year and stuff like that at that time because she was in the same place as him. It was just about, sex and relationship. So as you get older, your standards increase, and that's just a woman's standard increasing. That's just what it is. Should a man not date a woman because of that? Maybe, but you should understand what you're going into when you are picking these people to have relationships with that already have children. Of course, her standards are going to be high. She has different priorities than you do. And one of them is going to be he probably needs to have a good job that pays a decent amount of money because she has other things to think about. But on the woman's side, she should also understand that a man that's coming to you after seeing that you have all this extra stuff to take care of, he knows what you're there for. He knows what you're looking for. It's not a mystery. So we can just dispense with all that bullshit right off the bat. You're looking for some stability. You're looking for a man to be there and help take on some of that burden that you have yourself. Otherwise, you would all be single mothers forever and never look to get married or date a man. The second point that he made that I want to touch on is the fact that he's splitting his money. 100% is not going just to his children. 40% is pieced off for the other children. In concept, I understand what he's saying. In reality, all the kids are getting the same, pretty much. If you have two kids and she has two kids, you guys come together and you have a family. When you feed the children, they're all eating the same thing. They're all getting the same size portion. Nobody is getting 60% more or 40% less. It's not going to be that. They're all getting the same. So what inevitably happens is, from your children's perspective, they had 100% of what you made, in a sense. Now they get 25% because you're divvying it evenly amongst the children that are there to make sure you're being fair to all of them. It's not going to be a 60-40 split anymore, because you buy clothes for one and you're buying clothes for all of them, not just the ones that you made with another woman, but also the ones that she made with another man. You're the man in that situation. That's what's going to happen. So your kids have to be more comfortable with taking less than they would have had if Papa was just by himself. Now, her kids may come up. It may seem like they come up because now they have 25% where they didn't have anything beforehand. So just fixing the logic on that. The other point is that at least you know that when you are doing all this for your kids, that when you get old, they will appreciate you. There's no guarantee on that whatsoever. There isn't. Because you can do everything for your children. Be there, be ever present. And when you get home old, they stick your ass in a home and figure that was all stuff that you were supposed to do, because in effect it is. This is what you're supposed to do for your kids. And we've gotten comfortable in this country with celebrating the mediocrity of shit. That's your responsibility. You're supposed to do for your children in that way. If you're going above and beyond that, then that makes some sense. But because of that, they are not necessarily owed you anything. It would be nice if they respected it and paid it forward, but they don't owe you, and there's no guarantee on them taking care of you when you're young. It's not. From your kids to her kids, there's no guarantee. It's just easier for the other person's kids to walk away. It just is.
With bringing two families together, my kids may follow a certain set of rules. Your kids may follow certain set of rules. So my kids could be like, "Daddy, why they do such and such and such? Why can they do this?" And because you have a set of rules from your kids, they're gonna be like, "Damn, why can they do this and why can't I do that?"
You're saying the mindset.
Okay. The part he's talking about now is bringing two families together, blending the family, and having two sets of rules. No. There is one set of rules when you blend a family. One set. If you cannot work out and understand what those rules are, you do not need to be blending the family together. Because hopefully you went through kind of a trial period of getting used to each other so they understand what the expectations are. And for me, in my mindset, the expectation should be what the man expects, which means he's going to have to be respected, plain and simple. Now, I had a wife. I had a child with my wife, but I also had my son that I had before I had my wife. My son would not be disrespecting my wife. Why? Because it was my rules. Period. And my rules were everybody in this house is respected. And I sit over everybody because I'm the judge, jury, and executioner of everybody. Because everybody in this situation I brought in. You're flying under my banner. So I'm the only one who can be impartial about any of this. So there is no two sets of rules at all. Now, I understand with kids from another person, it can be a little different with a woman. But when you pick that man, you're supposed to be understanding that you trust him to make those rules and calls for the children, and that all of you follow, not just some of you have to follow. No, it's one set of rules. So somebody is going to feel that it's a little bit more stricter than they're interested in or they're used to. And some are going to feel that it's a little lax. That's just what it's going to be. But there is going to be one set of rules. In a blended situation, I would think the mother and the father kind of work that out between each other. And if there's a dispute, they handle that privately outside of the view of the kids. But in the moment, you rock with what Pop say. stepdaddy or not, because it's not going to be an undermining of any authority amongst the parents. No. Just saying.
It says it could be
Yeah,
different.
it can be completely different. So that could confuse the kid. You get what I'm? You get what
I understand what
this
you're
is
saying.
no.
I get what you're saying.
Stop
The
saying you
mindset.
understand.
No. What I'm
Yeah,
saying is
you
that
get what
no.
I'm saying?
Listen.
It's
This is
not.
Pure
It's not.
stupidity.
It's
but
logic.
what I'm saying.
It's not stupidity. She just doesn't want to hear it because it takes control away from her. She understands that she does not play by the same rules he does. And this to me goes back to her not having any respect for men. It's not. That's why she can talk about having arguments with a stepfather.
No, it's not. It's stupidity.
No.
It's basically taking every reason you can think of in the book for why it wouldn't work. When you meet somebody and you're engaged with that person and you like that person in the beginning, yes, it may be a conflict of how you parent, how I parent. It's going to, even if you didn't have kids, it's going to happen. If I meet you and I start talking to you, how you live your life and how I live my life may be two completely different things. Over time, we mesh. Over time, you blend. That's pure stupidity. And guess what? If it comes to the point where you guys can't agree on things, it would never even get to the point that you even have to concern yourself with blended families. Because as women, mothers, I can't speak for all mothers, but I could say, I'm not going to deal with no man that don't mesh or blend well with my kids. And that doesn't mean I'm putting my kids before you. That just means as I analyze this situation that we're in, if it's not going to work, it wouldn't get to that point where we even have to go to that. But there are situations where you will blend just fine.
So she would not blend just fine. And she is putting her children above him because she said it, my children. See, this is why, as a step parent, it's a hard situation to come in as the new guy because they are her children. She will always see them that way. There will never be anything else but her children. Your children will be your children as well. Okay. No mother puts her children above a new man that came in. If she does, she is not considered a good mother by other women. That's what they make Lifetime and Oxygen Network TV shows about all the time. Some woman that prioritized her new man over her child. And then you already know how the stories always seem to go. The man's abusive. He's a molester. Some goofy shit like that. It always does. So they don't. I wouldn't respect a woman if she was trying to not put her children first in her life, because I can say about the women I've had children by, ex-wife and son's mother, I know proof positive that they value those children more than me. And that's fine with me because they should value those children more than me. I value them a little bit more than me because those are my seeds. But I know damn well if it became a choice between my life or their children's life, I'm a dead motherfucker. Plain and simple. But that's the mentality I want them to have. So I'm fine with that. So what she's saying is, no, it is her children over the other guy. It is. And she shouldn't make no bones about saying that shit. It is. Because I made no bones when I was a single father saying that to any woman I was with. It's my kids first.
That means that's for you. I have a favorite phrase I like to use. I use it all the time when I'm referring to just myself, when I'm referring to dating. And I say it all the time. People need to learn their lanes. When you know your lane, you're not confused. When you're dating people that are in your, I'm in the far left lane, probably about 90% of the time.
So she thinks she's a fast laner, is what she's saying.
And it's quite often that I get guys that are in the far right lane, that slow lane.
The reason being is because you look slow. The reason I stopped the video right here so you can see her racing stripes all down her arm. One of the single mothers I dated, one of my exes I dated, had a great saying, and I use this all the time to give her credit for it. And she asked me before, because I asked her why she didn't have any tattoos. And she told me very simply, have you ever seen a bumper sticker on a Ferrari? And I said, no. And she was like, exactly. Why would you mess up perfection? Couldn't argue with that logic. Couldn't argue with it. This don't look attractive to me. How she's talking and as masculine as she's acting, even though she's sitting in there in that dress, ain't attractive. I'm not surprised you finding people in what she would consider the slow lane, because she is in fact slow.
And somehow they made their way over to mine. And I don't understand how they got there or why they're there, but they're there. So I have to redirect them, because I know just off a conversation, just off of one conversation could let me know. And I have to redirect you and say, hey, this just isn't your lane. I'm not sure how you got here, but I want to redirect you very respectfully.
I'll say this. There is no respectful way for a woman to tell a man where he's supposed to be. There isn't, because that's not your damn job. That's not your role in life. You cannot tell a man what lane he's supposed to be in. You can tell children that, little boys that, your children, you can tell that to. You can't tell a grown man what lane he's in and direct him any kind of way, unless you are usher at a theater.
So I say that to say, again, it depends on you as a person, because if you meet like-minded people, right, then the likelihood that it would be just so chaotic, what's the likelihood of that? What's the likelihood of it? You attract what you want, what you like. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that just as, like I said, I had my daughter when I was 19. If you want to be honest, I had my daughter when I was 18, because she was born 3 days before my 19th birthday. And so I've been doing this single parent thing since
you didn't know shit. That's how long you've been doing it. And I say that even saying I had my child at 19. You didn't know shit. You were a child. You were a child having a child.
I don't even know. I can't even tell you when it started. This is here we are. But I've never dated a person that didn't get it. I've never dated a person that I had to fight with you about what you give your kids, what I'm giving. That's stupidity right there.
Before you. What I was saying, I get was the last part of what he said.
About what?
You know what I'm saying? When the last part
I cut
you
you
said,
off too. I'm sorry.
Boy, you cut me off because you slashed me.
I had to get in there. Sorry.
No, what I was agreeing was the last part. What he said, he's like, yo, like he's saying, well, how would I know that a child is gonna look out for me? Right? That's not my child. Like I said again, I understand that part. But what I'm saying, I understand. I'm saying I understand his.
Now, this is what I don't like right here. This host is looking like he's copping pleas and clarifying stuff because he doesn't want to offend or get her upset at him, which is pointless to me. It's pointless. Unless she is one of the hosts of this show, it don't matter what the hell you said. It doesn't matter if you were agreeing with the man or not. You shouldn't have to give that kind of caveat, like you want her appeasement and her approval of you for why you said something in understanding him. Because truthfully, I don't think you can understand his position because you've never been in that position. So at best, you're empathizing. But the fact that he's sitting here right now, he's trying to cop pleas.
Concern, his personal concerns.
That is a crazy concern.
But those are his personal concerns.
I understand.
And she's diminishing him by calling him crazy. Dave Chappelle had a good skit about that, about why you don't call people crazy, because it dismisses them. Basically tries to shut them down so you don't listen to what they say. So you have to be really careful with throwing around words like that. Women use that all the time. Dismissive, misogynistic, crazy, all this other code words that they use to shut down a man's argument to say you shouldn't be listening to him. That's all it is.
See,
because my opinion,
you see what I'm saying? That's what I was saying.
Yeah, okay.
But
because my opinion shouldn't have dominion over anyone.
No, but for me, what I'm saying is, for me, dog, like I said, I'm a big kid, bro.
Yeah.
I run around in my house.
Yes, he is a big kid. He is, because he's playing stepdaddy, playing father.
I play in the rain with my son, bro. I run around, and it's not just because of my son. I would that with any kid, bro. I just love to have fun and be a kid. I'm a big kid, bro. I can't help it.
Right.
My wife get mad at me. You ain't like a child. I'm a child, bro. I like to have fun.
I would say this, but I wouldn't want to disparage him, but I would tell him that's why she like you. Because you wanted the kids. Because in a woman's eyes, as it's been told to me by men smarter than myself, there's only two ways she can see you. And if you ain't the dominant man in the relationship, you are the child in her eyes. So yeah, you can go and play with her kids. They need a play date.
And I think that spirit in me just makes me get along with. I just love
Right.
all kids.
Right.
So I don't.
I love kids. I'm not saying I don't love kids.
No, I'm saying, but but for me, my mindset
Right.
is not like that's mine. That's not mine. I don't
Right.
like it. Even with adults, bro. Kids even more.
I'll just say this too. He can't have that mind state. The reason being, he doesn't have his own children. If you had your own children, you would understand very clearly the difference in the delineation between what is mine and what is somebody else's. Because you know, as a parent, what you pour into your child. And you never really make that connection until you have your own children, that this is my child and this is their child. This is how these two kids act. The first time you take your own child to the playground and let them play with some younger kids, you will learn that shit really quickly. The difference between your kid and somebody else's kid, because that's when you have that fealty to that child like that. You know what you're raising. You know what you're pouring into that kid, and you can see a stark difference between your child and everybody else's child that's on that playground. Plain and simple.
Whatever I got going on with my kids, if it's a kids around me, we all involved. I don't. There's no distinguish. If I'm eating, you know how everybody eating. But that's just how I am, bro. Like I'm very family oriented, and I love people, and I love kids even more because they're innocent.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And I look at it like, wow, I like, and I protect them the way I wanted to be protected when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
So my other shot to him is that you love children, but you didn't want to have one. You love children. You're with a woman and married to a woman who had kids. Has she given you a child? And to me, understanding how the stepdaddy situation works sometimes, if that woman that you're with that had children will not give you a child, you are not there. You don't make the cut to have a baby by, in her eyes. That's why she won't have a child. Her body will not allow her to have your seed. She is telling you at the same time, she patting you on the back for doing for her kids. She's telling you you are not good enough. Because the dude that she wasn't with was good enough for her to have a baby by. Maybe one, possibly two. Your ass being there taking care of those children is not good enough to have a child by. Not even one. That's a massive disrespect to you. And you should understand that. Because it is my theory, since this is my philosophy, that women get pregnant by who they want to get pregnant by. And men they don't want to, they never do. It don't matter how much you having sex. It will never take hold. She will never open up that seventh gate and let your semen anywhere close to an egg, ovum of hers. No, never. Your shit will get washed out after every use.
That's just, again, that's my take. That's how I am.
But let me make a point, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm speaking to what I'm speaking about what's going on in these recent times, right? And let me make another point. No man that is productive and competitive want to be restricted, right? I'm gonna give you an example, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna use you as an example. You're married, you have your wife, and you have your kids, right? Supposedly you get off from work, you want to go home and you want to enjoy your wife, right? it's easy for you to come home, and if your kids are past their bedtime, it's easy for you to say, "Hey, son, and Janiyah and whatever it's your son, me and your mama, we got some things to take care of. It's time for you to go to your room."
Princess Naya, Princess Shy, and Pop
Right.
Pop.
It's time for you to go to your room.
Yeah,
me and your mama got some things to handle. But if I'm a stepdad and I come home and I say something to those kids, if I say, "Hey, it's time for you guys to go to sleep," some woman, I'm not saying all, some woman would take offense to it. They'd be like, "Well, why are you talking to my kids like that? You shouldn't tell them when they go to bed or not."
And that's real shit, because that's exactly what happens on every point of contention with the child. Everyone. Perfect example of this, personal story. I'm with my ex. My ex has a young child. I have a drone. We're having dinner. The child wants to play with the drone. I tell the child, "Well, that's fine. You can play with the drone, eat all your food, and pick up your toys." When we sat down to eat dinner, and this is the role that the ex tried to push me in. Okay. Well, he puts away his toys. He did put away his toys, eating all his food. And then he wanted to have an attitude. And I didn't give a shit. Well, what came up next? Can you just let him play with it anyway? No, absolutely not, because he didn't do what he was told. He didn't pick up all them toys. He didn't eat all his food. Why should I reward him for not doing what he knew he needed to do to get what he wanted? No. The argument that happened pretty much while he was there. And I only say it was an argument because it's a point of contention. She heard me when I did it. She was there for it. She wanted me to do that stuff, right? Okay, so I did it to prove a point. The problem with a new man coming in and raising your child is not the child. Men can dead that easily. It's the mother. She doesn't like that discipline. She's all fine with saying it, but she don't want it. And when she sees it, she won't like it. So she will always side with the child and go against you to keep easy treatment on the child, because it reverses the shit that she was doing. If she lets you actually, take the reins in that situation. She doesn't want that, because she doesn't want to feel like a bad mother or she's ineffective. Because in my situation, she could talk to that boy for 10 minutes trying to get him to pick up his damn toys. I talked to him for 2. Got that shit done.
Happens all the time. So that's
Where
the
are these
reason why
statistics coming from?
it's happening.
And this is the deflection. Where are these statistics coming from? Shout out to BGS. He pointed this out on his video about this very clearly. She ain't offered no statistic for nothing she said. Not a one. Everything is her own personal anecdotal experience. While she says she can't speak for women, but then she speak for all women. She ain't offered no data one time. Now she want him to have some data. Well, his anecdotal experience don't work. He date a lot of women. I'm sure she don't.
We're living in 2024. Come on now. Let's not play crazy like we don't know this is.
Well, I think, remember when we had the conversation we had when we had the Dear Black Woman episode, and I was saying that I feel like a lot of times, not just black men, but black women as well, they don't do their due diligence. And what I meant by that is, if I meet a woman, she has children, and me and her, we've become, because it's going to take time for us to live together. And so I'm with this woman, we're dating, and eventually we get more serious. And I would hope that she would see the way I treat her kids with love and admiration, whatever, so that when
my question to him is, why would you treat another woman's kids with admiration? What are they doing that you are admiring? I can see love and respect. I can see love and respect, but I don't see love and admiration. Love and admiration is what the woman who has those children should be giving to you coming into the situation for taking on something that you don't have to take on. The responsibility for fathering her children because it's not yours. The admiration doesn't go towards the children, it goes towards the man, which is why I say, no disrespect to the host, but he is very child minded because he keeps putting himself in a child's position of how he sees these things. But it's only because he hasn't had his own children. So he's always sliding in there as the grown child.
We are living together. If I say, hey, it's time for everybody to go to sleep,
Right.
I would hope she would know it's coming from a good place. She's not going to intervene. Because as a man, she would understand, like, oh, we're going to go spend some time together. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would hope.
Yeah.
Like I say, for me, like, I like to study. I like to do homework. I don't like to, I never like to dive into anything.
Yeah.
The one time I ever dove into anything, oof,
and for me to clear this up, bro, let me make this clear. And when I'm speaking, I'm not talking about single traditional mothers. I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about single traditional. I'm talking about single modern mothers.
But as a man,
in
as a
2024.
okay,
That's
but,
what I'm
but
speaking
as a
on.
person such as yourself who's very traditional,
right?
There's no way you're gonna fall into that kind of situation because you're traditional.
Right.
So that means the woman you're gonna be looking for is gonna fit that criteria. Right. So those examples shouldn't even exist because in your mind you're gonna do your homework.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like if
those examples exist because it is a fact. It is a truism. It is a truism. Now, maybe the person sitting up there does not have that experience at the moment. But the host of the show don't have any experience on this either way. He talking a lot too. It is something that happens.
like, and I
But you're
understand.
saying them or speaking them as
Damn,
if this
G,
is
why
something
you
that
ain't
you
let me
would
finish? I had a
expect
good point
to
going.
realize. So y'all, I've been letting y'all talk.
No,
Go
but
ahead,
I had a
go
good.
ahead.
I was trying to.
She's talking the most, and it's not her show. I'm still waiting for the other dude to get to finish his point without being interrupted by her or interrupted by the host.
Go ahead. I was trying to drive a point home.
Go
But
ahead.
No,
Now
no,
go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. Because your point, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Because again, like I said, I'm listening.
And that's that sim shit. Oh, because you're a woman, I'm gonna let you go ahead. Why don't you let the dude finish the point who was talking? She's been going first a lot. She's had a lot to say, but whatever.
As from a woman, so my responses to you are based upon what you're saying. So it's almost like counterproductive because you're saying one thing and then you're saying something else. So you're saying I'm not speaking for. Okay, so that's what makes it like a little bit different.
She's projecting because she keeps going back and forth between speaking for herself and speaking for all women. He didn't say that. He said very clearly this is from his perspective.
Because when you say these are happening right now in these times, I need statistics, I need data, I need something to support that. And the reason I'm going to say
why does a woman need statistics and data when women do not generally read statistics and data? That's boring stuff to most women because it's just numbers and graphs and all this unsexy shit because it ain't got nothing to do with feelings. This is a KS point because KS brought statistics and data, which made his arguments bulletproof. And women hated that because it takes things out of the realm of emotion and puts it into actual factuals. And you can argue with numbers all you want to, but numbers don't care about your feelings. They ain't there for that.
that's because, again, when you say traditional, you're not talking about modern, it's so tricky going into that area, right? I consider myself to be a modern woman.
No shit. So you were emblematic of who he's talking about. And we'll see when the video goes on how triggered she gets about all of this. Because look at her right now. This is your modern woman. Definitely not traditional, because a traditional woman, say 60s, wouldn't have all these tats all up her arm and be talking this way to another grown man who was not in the old sense, but her elder. No, she wouldn't be going back and forth like that, calling them stupid, calling them crazy, and everything else. No, she wouldn't. But this is emblematic of a modern woman who has no respect for men, even though she had one in her house.
Okay.
However, I was raised on traditional values.
Okay.
So it depends on how you would.
Short version, being raised on something doesn't make you it. You can be raised to go to church every Sunday. Don't make you a Christian unless you get baptized. You don't get points for just standing next to the man. No, you got to put your effort into it.
Then categorize,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
That's your choice, what you see, how you, and it so on and so forth for every other man. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, so to say that's what's going on right now, I have to disagree. And I'm disagreeing because I am a modern woman. And I have modern friends that are single mothers that would completely wholeheartedly disagree with what you're saying.
Okay. So your anecdotal experience trumps everybody else having other anecdotal experiences, is what you're telling me. Because it don't exist in your world, so it doesn't exist at all. He just told you it did.
I get your point, but let me ask you this, Vic. So you don't think that a man that is productive and competitive taking on a pre-made family, so you telling me that's a good thing? How okay, let me ask you this. How are your kids are going to be an asset to me?
Okay. Now this is the thing, this is the part that, as I understand it, had TikTok all aflutter, all abuzz, because he asked the question about how her children are a benefit to him. Now, when you watch this reaction, watch her reaction and how everything ratchets up from here. She got triggered that shit, and there's a reason for it.
If I was dating you,
I would never date a man that ever asked me no craziness like that.
see,
I would never,
but
because
that's
you
the
would
problem.
never ask me how my kids would be an asset to you.
That's
See the attitude? That's why her ass is single right now. Because I can tell you this, I'm a single man. I wouldn't want to deal with that shit. Now, this is the reason why I even did this video at all, because I don't usually do reaction videos to this kind of stuff. I have been in this situation. I've asked a woman this question. This is a Kevin Samuels point. This is like grade A KS. This is all his point. Original drop, okay? I remember when I heard it come out of his mouth. And I asked a girlfriend I had at the time that same thing. And it set her off the same way this chick is set off. Why? Because modern women believe that that child is gold to them. But it is not gold to anybody else. You know why? Because nobody else gets the benefit of that child. The child is of no benefit to any other man other than the father. And that's not really a benefit to him unless he gets old and feeble and that child will take care of him. Otherwise, there's no benefit. Fathers and children don't have benefits from children like that. Maybe when they're younger, and maybe if you ran a farm, you could get them to do some of the farm work so you didn't have to bust your ass all by yourself. But there is really no benefit for men with children other than the emotional feelings and ties you get from having children. Other than that, it's all pouring in. It's not giving back. But for women, especially modern women, there's a lot of benefits that come along with those children. Housing, jobs, cars, vehicles, training, all kind of shit. Just for having a kid. You didn't even have to want it. You didn't even have to stay with the man. The country appreciates that. The apparatuses all around that appreciate that. You just have to have the child. They'll take care of the rest and pay you a stipend for it.
That's the thing.
That's insanity.
But see, I'm coming from a lot.
And now she called him insane. Stupid, crazy, and insane. Shaming language. Shout out to KS. Sign language.
Logical
No.
standpoint, you have
don't
to ask
think
those questions.
any woman
And let me say one more
is
thing.
going to let you say, how can your kids be an no?
And here she is speaking for all women again.
Oh, sweetie, no.
It's the truth.
No, it's not.
And
Because if we're talking about we're living in a world, no, because we're talking about living in a world where you're constantly putting a male on this pedestal and you're forgetting that this is not the old days. So right now at this point, there are a lot of men that sit on a pedestal, but baby, their pedestal is way, way beneath that woman's.
And this is where we are. This is where the gynocracy rears its head. The real beast rips off his mask and is now baring his fangs at him.
I'm not done.
Okay.
So when you say,
and she's shutting down a grown man to tell him to stop talking so she can keep going. Like I told you guys before or earlier, close your eyes and imagine you're in a situation where this woman is mad at you. Do you want to hear this shit?
hey, what can you bring to the table? I feel like that goes both ways these days. Traditionally, back in old days, women couldn't bring that much. We didn't have that much. We weren't able to accomplish as much, but we have come very, very far. And I'm going to say,
because of feminism and monopolizing and weaponizing children, you've come very far. And you can get a lot now, too. Yeah.
That as a single mother myself, that a lot of men cannot even sit at the table with me, if I'm being honest, and I still give them a seat.
Good night. The delusion. Okay.
I still push the seat open for them to sit down and show me what they can bring to the table for me, because I know intellectually, I know financially, I know on a 1,000 different levels, they don't even meet me halfway. So when you,
I think that would go to who you are dating, ma'am. Remember that conversation a little while earlier where you're talking about being in the far left lane and dudes from the slow lane on the right keep trying to get over into your lane and you redirect them back to their lane? How do you have your own table to push out a seat for another man and then say that he don't meet you halfway? Are you slumming? Are you slumming? Or was that man in your lane?
make a statement like that, again, like I said, I'm a single mother. I'm a modern woman. I have so many friends across, not just in Florida, this is not Miami. I'm talking about friends, period. And they're single mothers, but they bring a lot to the table.
Like what? Whenever I hear somebody speaking in generalities like this, I understand that the easiest way to break them up is ask them specifics, and they will have any. You'll see their brain have a feedback loop because nobody stops them and asks them, what things do you bring to the table? What?
And for a man to ever ask me what my kids could do to benefit him, he would never even speak to me again.
And why is that? Because for her, the children are her benefit. They're her property, not his. He should derive no benefit for those children. That's why she has them. That's why they're not with the father. Because they are her cash cow. They're mama's little money makers. And she's offended at the idea that these children could be or should be of any benefit to the man that she's with. Now, I'll put it to you this way. If she dated a man who owned his own business and he wanted those children to work for him instead of them sitting their ass at the house doing nothing, would that be a benefit to him? Or would it be a benefit to him if those children didn't work at his business and just sat on their ass in his house and reap the rewards of him having his own business? Where do you see the benefit?
Let me ask you this question, Vic. So do you want a man to come in there and share his resources with your kids?
I have a question.
No.
And this is where she got stuck. She didn't even let that question circulate to even think about answering it. She just had a question right away because she don't want to, because she knows that's what it is. What you're going to hear this woman say is about that she's a 6-figure earner. If she's a 6-figure earner, why the fuck is she even dating? She should be good and don't need no man, right? Then why are you dating? Because you're looking for a man to do something. And if you're talking about what he brings to the table, you need something from him. He don't need shit from you.
No.
I have to counter it. I have to counter it.
Just answer it. I need
He's
a yes
sharing
or no.
it. Do I want him to
yes.
come in and share his resources with?
Deflect. And that's why this is a common tactic, right? If you really on point with what you're saying with a woman and she doesn't have a ready-made response for that shit, she will delay in some way so her brain can catch up to what the fuck she needs to try to grope for something to say in that moment. And this is what she's doing right now. This is all a deflection tactic to try to slow his momentum and give her something to latch onto, because the little troll inside her brain is, what do we say? She's stuck. She don't know what to say.
With my children?
Yes or no?
I'm trying to get clarity on a question.
If you're dating a man,
what is the resources that he's sharing with my children?
His finances.
I don't need them.
Because Vic, that's cap. I don't care what you say, Vic. Listen, Vic, I don't care. If a man is dating a woman at some point in time, Vic, a woman is going to want a man to share his finances in the household. Yeah.
You cannot date a woman on a first date or second date and her not expect you to share your resources with her. You know how you share your resources? You spend your time with her and you spend your money on her to feed her. If she has a child, sooner rather than later, she will want to have a situation where you, her, and the child are out together. She's not going to pay for all of you to eat. And she wouldn't like it if you said, hey, I'm going to pay for you, you pay for your kids. She would have a problem with that too. The expectation is going to be you pay for the both of them. You're going to feed both of them. And don't even think about asking for your money back. No. So the expectation is always there. That is the double standard. Nobody expects the woman to pay for shit. But they do expect the man to pay for something. And if he's going to be sleeping with you and being in the same house with you, you paying for the family. Not just her. You paying for everybody. Your kids are not. Otherwise, your ass won't be there. Her son won't even be able to be there if he ain't paying for the family. His ass will be on the street too.
Yes. So you telling me you're going to sleep, you're going to lay up there, you're going to date a man, you're going to sleep with that man, and you ain't going to ask that man to contribute his finances?
So here's the kicker.
I find that to be hard.
It's not hard to believe because they will never ask. They'll never ask. They'll put you in a situation and expect you to do, but she will never ask, because you only ask people things when you're humble. Narcissists and people who are not humble expect you to do that shit. You should know that's your job for even getting to stand next to them, because that's a narcissistic mind state.
Hard to understand.
Here's the kicker.
That's cap. I'm sorry.
Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, and we're gonna clear it up.
Go ahead.
I never said I would expect a man to come in and share his finance, not share his finances. I never said that.
That's his
I know
resources.
okay, if that's all the resources he has, that's problem number one. We're gonna start. No, that's definitely problem
That's
number
his
one.
resources.
That's not enough for me.
How
So
that's not
again,
enough?
it's not, because I have my own money. So when you start talking about
If you have your own money, you don't need a man then, right? Or do nights get lonely? Bed gets so cold. You just want to have somebody there to rub your cold toes. Fucking hell. Get the hell out of here.
a modern woman, and you're sitting in front of a woman that makes well over 6 figures a year.
I don't believe it. Cap, prove it.
You're not going to tell me that a man can step through that door and tell me, what can your kids do for me? No, baby, what can you do for this household? Because this household runs effortlessly without your.
If you have a man stepping through that door of your own house, that's not your man. You brought him in because you would be stepping through the door of his house.
Finances.
Okay,
so the expectation would be, if you're stepping through this door, why would you step through my door and you're not able to provide any resources?
Okay, Vic, listen, I don't care if you make 6 figures. You know why? Because at the end of the day, your 6 figures is for you. You would never share it with me. At the end of the day,
facts.
You think that?
But Vic, listen, at the end of the day, whether you make 6 figures or not, you will still want a man to come through there to take over the finances, to take that burden off your shoulders.
Which is why they date. I have not met a single woman with kids or without, who is not looking for a man to take off some of that burden. Because if you just talk to single women, not trying to get in their pants, you not one of the food items, so they ain't thinking about you like that, you will always hear them bitching about money and how expensive things are and how much they cost, because that's always a thing. And the thing that alleviate that a little bit is, I need to find a man. Why? Because the expectation is he gonna pay that shit. Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills?
Don't give it to Vic. Every woman wants that. So when I hear women say that they're not looking for a man to share their resources, that is cap. Let me finish making another point.
No,
this is another risk. Listen, Ralph, let me make this one final point. This is another risk of a man that is competitive and productive, that's getting to a situation where he's dealing with a pre-made family. Who is to say, if I was to marry you and you divorce me, you will go to the courthouse and put me on child support for the next 18 years for kids that don't even belong to me. And matter of fact, even if I'm not married to you, if I've been dating you for a substantial amount of time, depending on what the state, you can still go and put me on child support for 18 years for kids that are not mine. So to close it off, a man, a productive man that's dating a single modern baby mom in this generation, that's a lose-lose situation.
And he is 100% right. 100%. I live in California, and California has those kind of laws on the books where you can get hit for child support like that. I know in my situation, not to share too much, but I know of a stepfather who came in to become stepfather to 2 children that weren't his. And he was married to that woman for a time. And once he got out of that situation with her, she did want to take him to court for child support. Why? Because that's the lifestyle the children were accustomed to. That's the lifestyle she got accustomed to. So best believe she went to court to try to get alimony and child support, even for the kids that ain't his, at least for one of them, because she got him into the spot of claiming kids that weren't his. And since you claimed it, the kid believed it, the kid wanted to believe it, you on the hook now. This is a real thing. This happens to people. This is not cap. This brother that I brought up earlier on Instagram, child support is a fraud, he has these kind of cases on there. They are well documented and unending. So her reality of, no, that doesn't happen, is bullshit. It does happen because that's what a modern man is playing with when he dates a modern single mother. That's what you're playing with. That's what is waiting for you. And that's how this society props up these dependent ass women to give them this overinflated sense of themselves and this narcissistic attitude that everything is a benefit to them and not to a man.
And I'm gonna end it like that.
I don't have much. I don't have much to add.
Because she's stuck because she's probably tried that shit.
The only thing I could say is I hate that has been your experience. I hate that those are the women that you have encountered one way or another.
Shaming tactic. What she is diminishing him, trying to diminish him. She does not care if this happened to him. She doesn't. The only way she would care about the situation is if it had happened to her son. Then she'd care. Maybe. Depends on how the son is. If the son kisses her ass, she'd care a little bit. If the son cared about his father more than her, she wouldn't give a shit. You can get what he get.
Personally, not personally, one way or another. I hate that for you. I hate that for your friends. I hate that for anyone that you know, because that is not reality. That is not the reality that we're living in.
Yes, it is the reality we're living in. Yes, it is. There's a guy who is paying child support that I know right now. Paying child support for a kid that was never his. And he found out later that it wasn't his. He has to go through court to try to get that shit taken off of him because the court don't give a fuck. Somebody gonna pay for this kid, and they gonna get it out of a man. Mother can lie all day, but they ain't never gonna look to her like, "What is you doing?"
That is actually a bubble in which we choose to put ourselves in. I'm going to go back to my statement that there are lanes. And I learned when I stay in my lane and I don't allow.
I learned because she educated y'all. She in that fast lane, remember? That far left lane, 6 figures, and she learned it.
People that don't belong in my lane, I don't have any of those problems that you're referring to. Not one.
Let me ask you this one question, Vic. In the animal kingdom, when a lion takes over,
I don't care about them.
No, you have to.
Just like they don't care about data and statistics unless it bolsters their case.
Because it's still nature, right? When a lion take over a pride, right? What does that male lion does to those cubs of the other pride that he took over? What does that lion do?
Would you rather have been a lion?
No, I'm just
deflection, time to think.
I'm a human.
Okay, you know what that lion would do? That lion would kill those cubs.
Yeah, I'm a human.
You know what? I understand you're human, but I'm saying that because by nature, men, we are territorial. We do not want to deal with. We don't want to take on pre-made families.
All right.
Okay, this is where he kind of messed up that analogy. I know the point he was trying to get at. And the reason why a male lion will kill the cubs or possibly kill the cubs of a pride that he took over, because he doesn't want those cubs growing up to challenge him. They're going to feel some kind of way about that shit. You deposed my father. Well, I don't like you because you ain't my fucking daddy. And when you get old enough, and I get old enough, I'm going to kill your ass and take this pride back. That's why the lion kills the cubs of the previous lion that ran that pride. He ain't going to have that shit. He's going to have his own kids with these lionesses, and that's going to be his pride. The deposed lion's pride dies with his ass. The stronger one goes forward.
All right. Let me intervene. My brother speaking generally about the men that he represents. You speaking about the women you represent. Now I know I'm not single, so I'm not mingling. You know that, girl. So I'm gonna say this for the brothers like me, because it's different brothers, different mindset.
Yeah.
Like I say, for me, bro, it don't matter.
Okay.
But like I say, but that's your mindset. That's your mindset. For me, it don't matter. For me, if I like a woman, I like the woman.
Right.
If the woman has kids, she has kids. That kids, no kids, it don't matter. because it is what it is, bro. Because if you meet a woman, if that's a deal breaker, then I don't know, bro. That you might be missing out on a blessing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those are not your kids. You're right. You want your own. You can still have a blended family with her, and you can still help her with the kids if you want.
Doesn't that sound like the man being of a benefit to her? You could still help her. Why should I? I didn't make them babies with her. Sounds like it's just a benefit to her. What do the kids do for him? Nothing? No, they just suck up resources. So it's a valid question.
Want to, if not, I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury, bro. I can't tell nobody what to do. I know for me, as a black man, bro, who grew up fatherless, I wanted a father. I would have loved to have a dad, and maybe
He grew up fatherless, but he has a dad. He does. He might have wanted a dad, but he has a father. What his situation is, why he didn't grow up with his father or have a relationship with his father, I don't know. Ask his mama or ask his daddy. But he wouldn't be here if he didn't have a father. The dad would have been nice.
that's why I didn't have one. Maybe a lot of the black men probably think like how you said, though, like, why would I waste my money on a person that's not my kid? And I get it, but I don't share that.
And I'm speaking in general.
And I'm saying, yeah, and I'm saying for me, I don't share that. For me, bro, I love kids. Mine's are not. Even I have a wife now. And if I'm saying, you know, you bring your son, I'm not gonna say, oh, he's not. I don't care, bro.
Nobody is talking about the kids in that way. That nobody wants to nobody wants to throw any negativity onto the kids. That's not what it's about. And that's why I say that he takes this shit in a kid's direction because he's using kid logic. That the kid is going to be without something. Look, the woman is going to be without something. Kid is ancillary because it's her choice to be a single mother. Unless the father dies, don't want to see the kid, and actually states that, signed off his rights with the courthouse and everything else, she could have given that child to the kid and not had that situation. Just been a single mother out there without her child. But she doesn't want to give up those children because she derives too much benefit from them.
Kids, let's have fun. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big kid. I'll run around. You know, I don't care about that, bro. Like for me, I thank God I don't think like that. I don't view life like that. Because everybody deserves some type of sunshine. Because you think about a kid growing out of father, and not to say the woman can't raise a child, but I'm saying you think about a kid growing up.
A woman can raise a child. A man can raise a child. But a woman can't really make that child a man. She can make her daughter a woman, but she can't make her son a man. She is ill-equipped for that. She has never been a man. She doesn't understand what it takes to be a man. So she can't. She'll be missing a lot. She can do her best interpretation of what she thinks a man is from her wish list of what she wants a man to have. But it's not until he goes out into the world as himself and gets tested that he becomes the man he's going to have to be now. That's the downside to that shit. One of my favorite Wesley Snipes quotes from White Men Can't Jump. You can put a cat in the oven, but it don't make it a biscuit. You can raise a boy without a father, but that don't make him a man. But it will make him a grown-ass child.
Without a father, that's like rain pouring on you 24/7. And I'm talking about from an emotional standpoint, because you're missing something.
Yes,
so once a man enter that child's life, it's like sunshine. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I know what you mean. The child gonna be like, you're not my dad. And like I say, bro, it comes with that territory, bro. It's a rite of passage. I expect you to, I want you to do that.
No, it's not.
Because that lets me know, okay.
And I would never accept no shit like that. Never.
You becoming a man. This is the.
That is not a sign of manhood. It's not. It's a sign of defiance and seeing in your eyes that you are diminished as a man in that child's eyes. Yeah, they can speak their mind. Yeah. But like Ice-T said, there's free speech. Just watch what you say.
Only way you think you can hurt me, because
Yeah, yeah.
You can't hurt
trying
me
to
no other way.
any other way. So for me, man,
And that's one of the things my step.
That's not the only way a child that's not yours can hurt you, by saying you're not my father, because it's a true statement. If that hurts you, if a true statement hurts you, you have to think about what kind of delusion and lie you're telling yourself that would be something that would hurt you. It's disrespectful as fuck, but I never said it was hurtful. It's just disrespectful to say that shit. We all know this, but it is a truism. What the child could say to hurt you is that my mama only got with you because my daddy was in jail. Mama never liked you. We always laughed about that. You only here because you had a good job. That's some shit that would hurt you, that the child can say. That's why she still fucked my daddy on the side while you at work. That's the shit that can hurt you. That not daddy shit is just disrespectful.
Stepdad said to me, he's like, I didn't care about that.
no, because it's a right. It's
Like,
a rite of
I
passage.
already knew you were gonna do that. I didn't care about that.
It's a rite of passage, man. Like I said, I can't tell no man how to feel. But as a black man, I think because we're so far behind the 8 ball, and so many of our women and so many of our children that growing up in situations where the father may be in prison or dead or not in the household, I don't think we should think like that. I think we need to be more together, bro, and help each other. If you love a woman, I'm not telling you go take a woman with 20 kids.
Right.
Oh, so he does have a cutoff on how many kids is too many. I thought it was his view that men of the old days would just take on all them kids. Bullshit. There is a limit. The other thing I would say is that my son has a stepfather, Black Bane. And Black Bane and me are really cool. Really cool. If my son ever says some shit like that to Black Bane, I would get on my son's ass. If he had ever thought about saying some shit like that to him, I'd have whooped his ass. Because it's disrespectful as fuck. Hell no. Absolutely not.
I'm just saying, if she got a kid or two, and you like, you really like her, she's a great person, she have a great mind. So
But
what?
you know what, bro? There are some good single mothers. There are. I'm not saying.
I'm just
There are
saying, like,
and I'd agree with that. There are some good single mothers. There are. But when you dipping your ladle into the modern trough with everything that's in there, feminism, narcissism, mental illness, all this shit that's mixed up in that punch bowl, you're going to have to be careful about what you pull out of there. You better use a sieve, because it's more likely you're going to get something like this that's sitting up there with all the hand pointing and shit talking and stuff like that, than, the one that just got pregnant one time and wanted to be with her man and cheated on her and left and stuff like that. But she go to church, she work out, she's good, and she's really respectful and shit. That's going to be the rarity. It is not going to be the 100, the 90 out of 100. No, it's going to be the 1 out of 100.
To me, it's like, so what? You know what I'm saying? We gonna make this a blended family, and we gonna have fun.
I'm just speaking on recent times. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying. But as a man that do his due diligence, you're not just gonna pick a woman in this time that's behave a certain way, who don't care about her kids. Of course, you're not gonna care about you.
Now, what he's doing is negating the guy's argument, because he knows the guy and knows the guy wouldn't pick anybody like that. But if you're gonna have a debate like this, somebody's gonna have to play devil's advocate, right? So even if you know that the man that you're sitting there having this conversation with would never pick a woman like that, it does not mean that women like that do not exist and men don't have that option to pick from. He has to give that position. He has to speak. It has to be the devil's advocate. And you can't dismiss that because, you wouldn't do that, so let's just not use that. Bullshit. It's still all valid points. All valid points.
But I'm saying, but if you find a woman, a real woman, that's a good woman, she has kids, I don't think it matters, bro. I think it's just a matter of coming in and helping. It's not about resources or me spending my money.
It's just about coming in and helping. So how do you help? Resources, right? That's what helps.
On you and your. At the end of the day, bro, we all gonna die, man. That money don't mean shit. If
it don't mean shit, give them your money. If it don't mean shit, give them all of your money. Money does mean something. Money is your time, your effort personified into a tangible medium. I can put in there intelligence. It means something for you to spend the time to make that money. So the money does mean something. It means what you put into it, but it does mean something. It means that you've put in this amount of work and you've gotten this much return. It also means something when you choose to take that money and spend it on something else. That means the things that you want to spend that money on, your sweat equity, the exchange for your efforts and your work, what you want to spend it on means something. It needs to mean something, and it needs to bring you a benefit.
Concerned about money, leaving money behind for our biological, that's what you got insurance for. Life insurance. I tell my wife, let's live it up, baby. Let's blow up some money. And when we die, the kids gonna be good anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get life insurance.
So hopefully.
And she's talking, she don't even have life insurance, but she got kids. Don't even have life insurance. Why? Because she's looking to get rich off of somebody else. She's expecting a man to have that, right? That's why she don't have it.
You know, this was able to help somebody out there.
We just wanted to touch bases on single parenting.
And this is just part one. This is just part one.
Still my dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Listen, this is just fun arguments.
Yes, this is fun argument that I can't really dive into. But like I say again, you know, this is part one. We're gonna have a part two. So sit back, relax. You know what I'm saying? Get your popcorn. I know you're saying that like, this is good.
Damn.
We're gonna keep it rocking, man. But again, like I always say, man, please, man, like, subscribe, follow, you know, hit the like button. I'll say, dang, you know how it goes. Leave your comments. And if you feel a certain way about what Al said, you want to come on, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? If you feel a certain way about what Vic said, you don't like, come on. If you don't like what I said,
come on.
I want that pressure. Once again, man, we love it. Appreciate you guys, man. And remember, let's change tomorrow today, and let's do it today and not wait for tomorrow. And let's help one another, man, because we all we got. You know what I mean? Love, peace, and appreciation, man. Blessings.
All right. Let's stop sharing on that. So that was the video, and this is a long stream. I'm probably going to have to break this up because that's a lot to edit. But my philosophy on this single dating, I think that single women with children under the age of 10, 1 or 2, do not need to be dating. Don't need to be dating. You need to be you need to have your efforts focused on raising your child, not chasing dick. No. Men who have children under 10, you need to be taking care of your goddamn kids too. I'm not saying you need to get a vasectomy, but abstinence or wrapping it up needs to be something you learn to have discipline about. If you don't have your kids, you should get your children. Take your ass to court, put your efforts into that instead of diving between some old legs. And get your kids in your house with you so you don't have to be dealing with this. There's a difference to me between a single mother who got kids in the home and a single mother who has kids on a weekend or something like that. Let them hoes run the streets because they're not really trying to be mothers. And given facts, data, and statistics, you serve a better chance of making them some well-rounded people than them. So stop being afraid, sack up, and get them kids in your household. And let her visit on the weekends. Because if you listen to this woman about how much she actually with her child, that's all she got is a weekend. 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Every other day of the week, somebody else got them. So she ain't really trying to be a mother. She wants the benefits and the respect that come with it. But she don't want to be one. That's not the case. I do believe, like in the Angry Man Standard, that modern single mothers, you don't need to be dating them. You really don't. Now, if you want to parse through them to find the ones that are worth something, that are about something, that's your choice. Because, look, grown men do what grown men do. And you're going to make your own choices regardless of what anybody else says, I hope. But be very discerning and understand what you're picking from and who you're dealing with. You can't see everything up front. You can't. But the things that you do see up front, don't ignore them. Don't ignore them at all. Because as men, we will do dumb shit. But it will usually be because of our dick. So if you can discipline that, you can discipline anything else. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here. This is a long monster, not as long as it should be. I thank you guys for sitting with me this long. And I'll see you next